not to be confused with Networking and Cryptography library. Google Native Client is a sandboxing technology for running a subset of Intel x86/x64, ARM or MIPS native code in a sandbox. It allows safely running native code from a web browser, independent of the user operating system, allowing web-based applications to run at near-native speeds, which aligns with Google's plans for Chrome OS. It may also be used for securing browser plugins, as well as parts of other applications or full applications such as ZeroVM. To demonstrate the readiness of the technology, on December 9, 2011, Google announced the availability of several new Chrome-only versions of games known for their rich and processor-intensive graphics, including Bastion. NaCl runs hardware-accelerated 3D graphics, sandboxed local file storage, dynamic loading, full-screen mode, and mouse capture. There are also plans to make NaCl available on handheld devices. The general concept of NaCl has been implemented before in ActiveX, which, while still in use, has a legacy of DLL and security problems. Native Client avoids these issues by using sandboxing. Using PNaCl, Native Client is also architecture independent, like Java. Unlike Java, PNaCl apps are compiled ahead of time in the browser, and not just in time. This can make performance more predictable. An alternative of sorts to NaCl is Asm.js, which also allows C and C++ applications to be compiled to run in the browser, and also supports ahead-of-time compilation, but is a subset of JavaScript and hence backwards compatible with browsers that do not support it directly. Overview: Native Client is an open-source project being developed by Google. To date, Quake, XOS, Battle for Wesnoff, Doom, Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light and MAME, as well as the sound processing system Xsound, have been ported to Native Client. Native Client has been available in the Google Chrome web browser since version 14, and has been enabled by default since version 31, when Portable Native Client was released. An ARM implementation was released in March 2010. x86-64, IA32 and MIPS are also supported. To run an application portably under PNaCl, it must be compiled to an architecture-agnostic and stable subset of the LLVM intermediate representation bytecode. The executables are called PNaCl executables. In Chrome, they are translated to architecture-specific executables so that they can be run. NaCl uses software fault isolation for sandboxing on x86-64 and ARM. The x86-32 implementation of Native Client is notable for its novel sandboxing method, which makes use of the x86 architecture's rarely used segmentation facility. Native Client sets up x86 segments to restrict the memory range that the sandboxed code can access. It uses a code verifier to prevent use of unsafe instructions such as those that perform system calls. To prevent the code from jumping to an unsafe instruction hidden in the middle of a safe instruction, Native Client requires that all indirect jumps be jumps to the start of 32-byte aligned blocks, and instructions are not allowed to straddle these blocks. Because of these constraints, C++ code must be recompiled to run under Native Client, which provides customized versions of the GNU toolchain, specifically GCC and Bing utils as well as LLVM. Native Client is licensed under a BSD-style license. Native Client uses nulib as its C library, but a port of GNU libc is also available. Pepper. NaCl denotes table salt. As a pun, the name of Pepper was also used. Pepper API is a cross-platform, open-source API for creating Native Client modules. Pepper Plugin API, or PPAPI, is a cross-platform API for Native Client secured web browser plugins, first based on Netscape's NPAPI, then rewritten from scratch. It is currently used in Chromium and Google Chrome to enable the PPAPI version of Flash in the built-in PDF viewer. PPAPI. On August 12, 2009, a page on Google Code introduced a new project, Pepper, with associated Pepper Plugin API, a set of modifications to NPAPI to make plugins more portable and more secure. This extension is designed specifically to ease the implementation of out-of-process plugin execution. Further, the goals of the project are to provide a framework for making plugins fully cross-platform. Topics considered include uniform semantics for NP API across browsers, execution in a separate process from the renderer browser itself, standardized rendering using the browser's compositing process, defining standardized events, and 2D rasterization functions. Initial attempt at providing 3D graphics access. Plugin registry. The continuously evolving Pepper API also supports gamepads and WebSockets. As of May 13, 2010, Google's open-source browser, Chromium, was the only web browser to utilize the new browser plugin model. Mozilla has announced that they are not interested in or working on Pepper at this time. As of 2015, Pepper is supported by Chrome, Chromium and Opera. Go Playground currently uses NaCl to allow users to experiment with the language in their browsers. Reception. Some groups of browser developers support the native client technology, but others do not. Supporters. Chad Austin praised the way native client can bring high-performance applications to the web in a secure way, while also accelerating the evolution of client-side applications by giving a choice of the programming language used. Its Software's John Carmack praised native client at QuakeCon 2012, saying, "If you have to do something inside a browser, native client is much more interesting as something that started out as a really pretty damn clever x86 hack in the way that they could sandbox all of this and user mode interestingly. It's now dynamic recompilation, but something that you program in C or C++ and it compiles down to something that's going to be not your 04 optimization level for completely native code but pretty damn close to native code. Who could do all of your evil pointer chasings, and whatever you want to do as a to-the-metal game developer." Detractors. Other IT professionals are more critical of this sandboxing technology as it has substantial or substantive interoperability issues. Mozilla's Vice President of Products, Jay Sullivan, said that Mozilla has no intention of running native code inside the browser, as these native apps are just little black boxes in a web page. "We really believe in HTML, and this is where we want to focus." Mozilla's Christopher Blizzard criticized NaCl, claiming that native code cannot evolve in the same way that the source code-driven web can. He also compared NaCl to Microsoft's ActiveX technology, plagued with DLL hell. Ha-Yen Kun-Wim Lai, Opera's CTO, believes that NaCl seems to be yearning for the bad old days, before the web, and that native client is about building a new platform or porting an old platform into the web. It will bring in complexity and security issues, and it will take away focus from the web platform. See also: Application virtualization, sandboxing, running Windows programs in a sandbox. References. External links: Native Client, Google Developers, Google Native Client Project page, Google I/O 2013, Introduction to Portable Native Client on YouTube, Google I/O 2009 Native Code for Compute-Intensive Web Apps on YouTube, a Euro-technical talk at Google I/O 2009, a list of OSS projects ported to Native Client source code in Git. Examples folding at home, PNACL examples, Native Client SDK Gallery, torrep.info, Vector Editor, especially powerful for security printing, NacDocs, a port of DOSBox to Native Client, SodaSynth, a synthesizer for Native Client, PNACL Amiga Emulator, a port of UAE, an Amiga 500 emulator, Abadadel Crimin, a port of the SDL version of Vixacode to Native Client.